we were discussing in our previous classes are about one is muscle culture and other one is a prawn culture. Then there is only one topic remaining in that aquaculture portion, that is pearl culture. Now, in the case of pearl culture, you know what is a pearl culture? It is basically culture of pearls. So we have seen pearl culture, and pearl culture is now very popular in certain parts of the world. In India also, like Thuthukudi, we have lot of pearl culture centers are there. There is one center by CMFR is there. So coming to pearl culture, this is what pearl culture people are doing. They will be producing pearl inside the inside the board shell of the pearl oyster, and this process is what we call pearl culture. See here, you can see that they are developing pearl inside the shell of the pearl. Now, what are the steps which are involved in this process? That is what we have to study. It is scientifically known as pearl culture and also known as pearl farming. There are two terms are there, and how we are defining is that it is a process of cultivating pearls by introducing a foreign object, usually a bead or a piece of mantle tissue, a small plastic piece or a small piece from the body of the shell, into the pearl producing mollusk, typically an oyster or a mussel. So the pearls have a tendency that if you introduce some foreign material into its body, it will be producing what we call, so its natural process is that when some foreign particle is present inside their body, it will be producing a coating around it, and that coating is what is developing into the pearl eventually. So that is the process that is leading to the formation of pearl. So, and we are now, human beings are exploiting that natural tendency of the pearl to produce a covering around it, and by after polishing it looks very beautiful. So that is why the pearl is very famous as an ornament. This method of mimicking the natural process through which pearls are formed allows for large scale production of pearls for commercial purposes. Here you can see that. So in this picture also you can see that they are, see here you can see that see lot of pearls can be produced simultaneously. That may not be easy, but normally one or two pearls are actually produced from a pearl. Producing so many pearls at a time, I don't think is so much easy. But present technology allows only the formation of one or two pearls from the pearl oysters. See here you can see that. So these are all pearls forming from the inside the body of the pearl. See here you can see that. So they introduce some artificial material, some kind of impurity. It can be a sand particle also. But when some sand particle or anything is entering their body, it is protecting its body from the irritation of that particle by giving a coating or a covering made of mantle. That mantle is what is later becoming the pearl. And if you polish it, it becomes very beautiful. That is why the pearls are very famous in jewelry. Then what are the steps in the pearl culture? Here we can find there are 3-4 steps are there. The first is the selection of the mollusk, because pearls are produced from a type of pearl known as Pinctada species. Another species, Hyriopsis species. So Pinctada are marine oysters, whereas Hyriopsis are freshwater mussels. So there is a difference between them. So these are the two types of pearls which are commonly used for developing pearls. And the selection process ensures healthy mollusks with high potential for pearl formation. Because one problem is that if you develop a unhealthy oyster, see, it may not be able to sustain this surgical process of introducing this artificial plastic material into the body. Then sometimes if the pearl oyster is not very healthy, it may die. So that all process become waste. So that is why only very healthy, very pearls with very good condition are only selected for introducing this material inside the body of the pearls. So that is the technique. So that is the first step, selecting the right type of mussels which are healthy. And we have seen that there are two species. One is a Pinctada species, other is a Philiopsis species. Now second one is the preparation and implantation. A small incision is made in the mollusk and a nucleus, usually a small round bead made from shell material, and a piece of mantle tissue from the donor mollusk are implanted into the gonadal region. I will show you how the pearl implantation is actually being conducted here. See, here you can see that this is somehow the technique. So first thing they are doing is that they will be cutting open the shell into two separate portion, and using a small knife or something they will make a small cut here, and they will be putting that plastic material. Sometimes plastic material, sometimes they will be using some shell-like material which are produced from its own shell. So these are the two different type of material which are commonly used. And this process of cutting, opening the pearl and putting the bead into the mantle tissue is known by the name implantation. So preparation and implantation means small incision or a small cut or opening in the mollusk, and a small plastic material that is known as a nucleus or a shell material is introduced into the gonadal region. Normally the gonadal region means a region where ovary or testes are present. So mantle tissue secretes a nacre. Nacre means this white, this kind of material. This material is known as the nacre. This silvery colored material is known by the name nacre. So they will be producing a coating around it, and that nacre is later developing into the pearl. The next step is the care and maintenance. So once we introduce the pearl nucleus into the pearl oyster, it has to be protected or cared very well, because we have done something like a surgery in the pearl. So after every surgery we have to take a lot of precautions or a lot of care, otherwise they will die. Mollusks are placed in a controlled environment such as underwater farms, ponds or tanks, and they will be monitored for few weeks so that everything is okay. The pearls are in a healthy condition, they are eating well, and so that aspect we will be monitoring. And we will be also monitoring the quality of the water, the temperature settings of the water, the feeding of the water. All these are very important in the successful implantation of the nuclear material in the pearl oyster. So that aspect is coming under the third step, that is care and maintenance. Now we have the fourth one, nacre formation. Nacre, I told you, is the silvery coating. Over a time, pearl secretes layers of nacre around the nucleus, eventually forming the pearl. So nacre is this white or silvery color coating. This portion is known as the nacre. So that it will be developing a silvery color coating around that substance, around that plastic bead, and that will be finally forming the. See here, you can see that. So a layer of nacre, this one will be produced around it, and that will be developing finally into the this pearl. Here you can see that this is the pearl. So this is how we are producing the pearl. It is a very highly skilled technique, and Japanese people are very good in this, and they never share their technology to anyone. So they are producing one of the best pearls in the world. But still in India and also in other parts of the world, many centers are there for producing the pearl. Nowadays, more than the natural pearl, what we are getting is mostly artificial pearl. So natural pearls are very costly. Only an expert can tell the difference between a natural pearl and an artificial pearl. Pearls are then cleaned, polished, graded based on their size, luster, color, shape, and surface quality. So it is after the polishing process, the pearls are finally getting their full attraction. So now we have to see what are the different types of pearl. One is freshwater pearl, saltwater pearl, maybe pearl. So these are the three different types of pearl. Freshwater pearl may be produced from Hyreopsis species, produced from freshwater mussel, and are usually irregular in shape. Maybe we will check how the shape of this freshwater pearls may be appearing. Here you may be able to see this is all freshwater pearls. So these are all so this could be an example of the freshwater. They do not have a proper round shape. That is what they are telling about freshwater pearl. I cannot see anyone here. So that type of is known as a freshwater pearl. Then saltwater pearls. Saltwater pearls are the most common type of pearl which are produced by the Finchada species and formed in marine oysters and in Akoya, Tahitian and South Sea pearl. These are from the Tahiti is an island in Pacific. So they will be also producing their own unique variety of pearl. So depending on the geographical location, different sorts of pearls are available. So and saltwater pearls are normally rounder or spherical in shape and are have a high luster. Luster means shiny reflection. Then maybe pearl, also known as a blister pearl, are hemispherical and grown against the inner shell of the mollusk. We will check how the shape of the blister maybe pearl. See, this is known as the maybe pearl. They may not be having a round shape. So that is the peculiarity of the maybe pearl. These are some jewelries made from maybe pearl. Here you can see that this is the maybe pearl. See, here you can see that. So they have a hemispherical shape. See, here also you can see this is a hemispherical shape. So that is known as a maybe pearl or blister pearl. So these are the third variety of the pearl, maybe pearl, also known as the blister pearl, grown against the inner shell of the mollusk. So these are the third variety of the pearl you can see here. Now next is what are the advantages of pearl culture. One is offers a sustainable and a controlled way to produce pearl. So that is the pearl culture or pearl farming is primarily for producing pearl. Then reduce the pressure on the natural pearl resources, because naturally very little pearls are actually produced. Only once in a while this sand particle may be entering into the body of the pearl, and only very rarely, I think out of the pearls available in the market, nearly only 1% or something may be the naturally formed pearl. Others are all produced by this kind of technique. Provide some income opportunities for people from coastal and rural communities. In Kerala also there are certain regions, I think in Kasaragod region, some people are doing this pearl culture. Then allows for the customization of pearl quality and size to meet market demand. Maybe I will show you the different shapes of pearl. See, sometimes they will produce pearl in the form of idols of god or goddesses to improve the market value. Here it is not available. So there is no such thing like. See, here you can see the different varieties of pearl, round, near round, different shapes are there for pearls. So, if, for example, I have seen and the people are putting the bead shaped in the form of a Ganapati, and it will be forming a Ganapati like pearl. Maybe if I check, they will show you. See here. See, these are all pearls they have produced by this technique. See, here also you can find. See, so exactly the similar I have earlier seen such a type. See, different varieties of pearls are there. So by using pearls of different shape, experts are now able to produce different types of pearl. So that is regarding the customization of the pearl quality and size. If we want only small pearl, we can introduce smaller beads. If we want bigger pearl, we can introduce slightly bigger nucleus. So that is the advantage of pearl culture. And what are the major challenges? Vulnerability. Vulnerability means if there is any kind of environmental changes that will be affecting the growth of the pearl. Similarly, water pollution can affect the growth of the pearl. High mortality or high death rate due to disease or stress, because during this implantation process, introduction of this bead material into the shell, many muscles may die. So that is one reason for high mortality. Then everybody cannot do this. It is a very highly, it is a technique that needs a lot of expertise. That is why I told you Japanese people are very good in this. They have their own unique technology which they don't share with other countries. Then application of cultured pearls are the different uses are there, mainly in the ornamental industry or jewelry industry that pearls are used. So this is an idea of the pearl. Then application mainly in jewelry industry like necklaces, earrings and rings. Then also in cosmetics and medicine in some countries. So one important advantage of pearl culture or pearl farming in our area is that it gives job or employment to several people. So the lot of investment is not needed. It is basically a skill. If people can develop that skill, you can make a lot of money also.